From Texas Weather Tracker TV, this is a Texas Weather Alert.
All right, folks, this is a live Texas Weather Alert here. William Cole in the Texas Weather Tracker TV Forecast Center. And well, as anticipated, now as we're basically heading on into the evening, we are tracking a risk of severe weather across parts of the area. Now, we do officially have a tornado watch in effect, and it is for the counties in green you're seeing right there. And that is officially in effect until 10 p.m. this evening. Now, it doesn't include the Metroplex specifically, but there may be an opportunity, even as we go deeper into the evening, of some thunderstorm activity and potentially even some limited severe weather here in the Metroplex, but by and large, the bulk of the severe weather will remain in those green counties. And again, we're going to be dealing with what we call supercell storms out there, an opportunity of large hail damaging winds. And yes, with the tornado watch in effect, there may be an opportunity of some tornadic activity out there. We'll take a closer look at that coming up here momentarily. So we have kind of some ending scattered showers in our far eastern counties, but again, really as we head deeper into the evening, what we're going to be watching, well, it's out here in the orange and red. That's where there is going to be that opportunity of, again, some severe weather again in that part of our forecast area. So there it is, the big area of spin. It's off to the west. This is the storm system here. That's going to be bringing us the unsettled weather as we go through the evening and into the overnight as well. And again, you can see this fairly large area of spin. And again, this is going to be coming out directly across North Texas. And again, with all that being said, yes, again, that opportunity of rain, storms, and again, unfortunately, some severe weather as well. So again, the Metroplex being right back over in here. Again, all quiet right now. We've had some showery activity, even a few rumbles of thunder again earlier in the afternoon. But at least now as we're heading into your Saturday evening, of course, with the stay-at-home order in effect, it's not like there's really a lot to do this evening. But at least right now, the weather, again, fairly quiet here in the Metroplex. Again, that will be changing later this evening. We'll talk about that. Again, counties in green, there's another look at that tornado watch. And right now, the storm we're really focused in on, it's out here really just west of the Throckmorton area. And again, this is a storm that is severe. There's been some potential already tornadic activity with it. Let's go and zoom in here. And by the way, we've got some storm trackers out there as well. And again, we're going to be checking in with them again coming up here momentarily as well. So let's go and take a closer look at this storm. Again, severe thunderstorm warning here. And so again, there's the Haskell area. Again, Throckmorton over here. This is the far western fringes of our forecast area that we cover. But again, this will be moving in. And again, the general motion has been to the northeast, but it is anchoring and turning just a little bit more now to the east. So it's turning a little bit more to the east. And sometimes that can be fairly typical with supercells. And again, this has been producing some large hail, some damaging winds, and again, we have had at least one report of tornadic activity with this. Again, this was maybe about 20 minutes ago or so. Let's go to the other radar real quick. And as we do that, we'll take a look at the spin rate, first of all, within the storm. Now, again, this is something you're only going to see here on Texas Weather Tracker TV. This is the computer taking all the data that we look at and telling us where the best opportunity of tornadic potential would be. And again, you can see that again right there kind of highlighted in that area of red. And again, right there is at least an opportunity, a fairly low end opportunity right there around the rural area of, again, at least some area of spin. Right now, with this specific product, as it starts getting into the greens, into the yellows, that's when it's giving us a better indication of something maybe a little more concerning. It was at that level, again, maybe about 10 minutes ago, but this appears to be easing down just some. Again, there's the Haskell area right there, Highway 277 here, and again, Throckmorton being right back over in there. By the way, the red dot you're seeing right there, that's one of our storm trackers, Joe. We've also got one of our other storm trackers, just not plotted on radar right now. Bob is also there. And we've got another storm tracker, Chantel, out here as well. So again, we've got this storm surrounded with 3 different storm trackers. We're going to be talking to them, looking at their video, again, coming up here momentarily. Let's also go look at the hail core tracker here. And the other thing we've really notated with this storm, it's been a big hail core. And in fact, there's been an opportunity for some up to 3-inch size hail with this storm. And again, you can see right now over the small hometown of Rule, you see it right there, hail core tracker going from red to pink to white to gray. And when you're talking about a hail core tracker from red to pink to white to gray, you know you're dealing with some big hail. There's no additional colors once you get past gray. So again, there is an opportunity of some 3-inch hail, quite damaging hail now, again, coming in there around the small hometown of Rule. And again, if this does hold together, eventually tracking over here just north of the Haskell area. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and take a look at some video coming in from out in the field. And this is where we have Joe, one of our storm trackers. We'll start off with Joe. And again, he, I think, even maybe had a wall cloud that he was seeing just a few moments ago in his shot as well. So as we're talking to Joe here on the live line, Joe, tell us where you are now and go ahead and give us an update.
So I'm approximately 10 of Haskell, Texas. We're just starting to get a view of the storm cell. It appeared to be a wall cloud earlier when we were kind of further away, and still there is some definite distinct lowerings that you can see. Not really close enough yet to tell if anything's rotating or to see to get just exactly what it's doing, but. We're working our way that direction, and hopefully here shortly we'll be pretty close to it and be able to kind of give you a better answer. Back to you, William.
Yeah, and again, great video there, Joe, coming in. So again, Joe basically right there taking a look at it. We've also got Bob out there as well. We want to welcome Bob here to Texas Weather Tracker TV. Brand new, first day. And again, he's out chasing storms, as would be typical this time of year. So Bob, you're on the live line as well. I know you're just a little bit closer than Joe. You've been out there really kind of eyeballing this as well. Again, like I said, we've got 3 storm trackers out there on it. We'll also be talking to Chantel coming up here momentarily as well. Bob, tell us where you are real quick. We're going to hold Joe's video, but Bob, tell us where you are and give us an update from your location as well. And we may have lost Bob. Bob's out there pretty rural, so we may have lost him, and so that's fine. We're going to continue to kind of bounce back and forth between the two. But again, Joe's video, quite dynamic again coming in. So it looks like from here, and we'll go back to radar, and we'll check back in with Joe coming up. And if we get Chantel, we'll check back in with her as well. Joe's, I hate to even break away from the video. We may have to go to the double box. It appears as though this is trying to kind of ramp back up. These are what we call cyclic supercells. They cycle up and they cycle down, and it appeared as though this one, cycled up. We potentially had the unconfirmed report of a brief tornado, and again, this was about 20 minutes ago, and it began to kind of cycle on down. Now as it's moving through the rural area, of course, we were talking about the large hail potential with this, and it's now going to be tracking near and just north of the Haskell area. But again, the hook is starting to become a little more elongated, and it almost looks like this thing is starting to ramp back up. Let's take a look at the velocities here. And so this is the raw data on the back side of this. And so again, you can see exactly where the broad area of spin is. Now, this is not necessarily tightening back up into a high velocity couplet, but again, this specific area right back here on the back, this is where we're watching. This isn't quite as pronounced as it was, again, when we had that unconfirmed report of a tornado, again, 20 minutes ago. Let's hit the spin rate on this as well. And so again, still watching the spin rate tracker. It's still right now below a level you'd be concerned with. Again, on this, honestly, the way you read it, even though this sounds very basic, red you kind of pay attention to. Once it starts getting into green, you really pay attention. And once it gets to yellow, that's when, at least with my experience over the years, you most likely have a tornado on the ground. So right now, this has our attention with the red, and so we're going to be tracking that carefully. Again, this is what you call the mesocyclone spin rate tracker. And again, this is something you only see here on Texas Weather Tracker TV. Again, there's Highway 277, there's Haskell. So in general, this mesocyclone, this area of spin here, it's going to be tracking over towards the Haskell area. Let's do this. Let's go back to reflectivity, and we'll zoom out a little bit. And so we're going to keep our eye on that. It's kind of taken on, this is what we call the screaming eagle formation on a supercell. And as this continues to cycle back up, I think that's something we're going to watch quite carefully. Over here around the Aspermont area, that's where we had the report of the brief tornado. Again, that was about 20 minutes ago. That technically is outside of our general coverage area that we cover, but again, we did have the report over there around the Aspermont area, again, of that brief tornado, and again, that was about 20 minutes ago or so. Let's go and back this out just a little bit more. I want to take another look at the storms up to the north, then we're going to check back in with our team of storm trackers and look at some live video from them as well. And so we've been watching this activity. So again, there's the Red River Valley there. Again, this right here is essentially where our coverage area begins. We've been watching this activity up to the north. There were some indications on some of the data that we look at that some of that could what we call root in or potentially kind of linger into the early evening and might kind of take more of a path over here towards Wichita Falls. So far, that's not happening. This up to the north is kind of fizzling down, and at least right now in our general coverage area, it's this storm out here just north of the Haskell area. That's right now the show that's ongoing. And again, like I mentioned, we've got 3, not 1, not 2, but we've got 3 storm trackers surrounding it. Joe, Bob, and Chantel. And again, we're going to be bouncing around looking at their video. Again, by the way, if you're just now joining us from the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, being right back over in here, there's Mineral Wells. We may move this just a little bit, Josh, just to show where the DFW Metroplex is. Again, right now, all quiet in the Metroplex. Again, there will be some thunderstorm activity here later on, but it looks like the bulk of the severe weather even the tornado threat as we go through the evening, it's going to stay confined out here to the Greene counties the way it looks right now. Tornado watch in effect here again until 10 p.m. So let's go and zoom back in, and we can stay with this radar if you want, Josh. And so right now we continue with the severe thunderstorm warning here. And again, this storm going to be just north of the Haskell area. Now, officially, the Weather Service warning this on some 2-inch hail. This has been a big-time hail producer. So the storms we deal with today, because of the strength of the mesocyclone, meaning the storm is spinning, and what happens, kind of the science behind this, as the storm continues to spin, the mesocyclone, it suspends the hail. And as the hail spins around, they get bigger and bigger and bigger until finally they drop out. So with a strong mesocyclone, typically the other thing that goes along with it, you may never have a tornado with a strong mesocyclone, but you will most likely always have big hail. And as it turns out, that's exactly the case on this storm right here. So again, this is what we call a supercell. And again, we're tracking this one carefully now as we head into the late afternoon, into the early evening. So let's go back to the video. Let's go back to Joe's video. And again, Joe may have had a wall cloud kind of off in the distance. Man, oh man, this is dynamic video coming in here, Joe. I know you're in the Throckmorton area. You're just east of this cell. Tell us where you are now and go and give us an update.
Into Haskell, just past like the main part of town here. See there's a lot of lowerings, a lot of ragged edge cloud, a lot of scud floating around. From where I'm at now, I'm not really seeing anything with rotation in it just yet. But I am working myself to kind of get on the other side of Haskell so I can have a better shot of the storm itself. So right now we're just looking at buildings and highway. But here shortly I should be pretty close, and I should be able to get you a better report. But anyway, outside of that, it's still moving right along. Haven't seen any hail or any damage or anything yet. Outside of that, we're just going to work our way and get a little closer. Back to you, William.
Okay, Joe, hey, amazing job right there, and really dynamic video coming in. And again, you can see kind of the tip here, the leading edge of that supercell, again, as Joe's approaching it, coming in there from the east, tracking to the west, coming in from the east to the west is his general motion there. But again, quite dynamic video. Again, just to preface, this is what you're going to see here on Texas Weather Tracker TV. This is how we cover severe weather. You don't see this anywhere else in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. You don't see this up in the Wichita Falls market. You don't really see this anywhere else in Texas. But again, surrounded 3 different storm trackers. And again, they're going to be covering this storm live. Now, if we have additional storms, they'll break off and we'll cover all of those storms. But right now, this is the only storm, number one, that's severe. And this is the only storm that's really rooted in so far. But again, we've got this surrounded, again, with 3 different storm trackers. And again, great dynamic video coming in from Joe. If anything happens, if anything changes with this storm, again, we're going to let you know instantly just like that, because we're going to have the live pictures coming in along with what we're seeing here on radar as well. But again, great video there coming in from Joe. Do we have Bob on the live line? I know Bob was a little bit closer, but I think he got a little too rural. And when I say rural, meaning just kind of out of cell phone service. When you're driving around, sometimes you can't watch YouTube, you can't talk on the phone, the cell service, you're just in a rural area. But do we ever get Bob back on the live line with us? Okay, we may not have Bob, so we'll get back with Bob coming up momentarily. What about Chantel? Do we get Chantel on the live line with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Chantel, go ahead and tell us where you are. I know we're still trying to get your video punched up. We're going to check that momentarily. So we're going to stick with Joe's video coming in from Throckmorton. Hey, Chantel, tell us where you are now and go and give us a report from your location as well.
I'm in Haskell on County Road 424. And I got a significant lowering here, possible wall cloud. I'm in a beautiful spot for the storm.
Yeah, you're right there. So I mean, Haskell. Yeah. So I mean, you're due east of where the potential area of concern would be. Now, real quick, and Chantel, stay with us. Joe, are you still on the line? Because as we're looking, it appears to be just due off to your west. And Joe, you'll have to tell us again where you are. But we're seeing this appears to be the bell-shaped mesocyclone off in the distance. Joe, is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
All right.
So I'm on the east side of Haskell now. It's definitely a wall cloud. There is some upward movement. It is rotating. No funnel clouds that I can see at this point, and I'm pretty close to it. So nothing hanging down out of it just yet, but it is rotating, and we're just going to kind of pull over here and let the video play for you. Back to you, William.
Okay, Joe, great job. And we want to kind of stick with this kind of back and forth. So again, Joe's video may teeter in and out a little bit. We're seeing it teeter in there a little bit. It'll kick back in. Again, he's just in a rural area. But again, this is what we call a bell-shaped mesocyclone. You can see the actual shape of the bell coming down. So shape of the bell coming down, and we'll come back to his video. It'll kick back in, and so we'll switch back over to radar just temporarily. And again, we'll get to, and in fact, we'll stick with it, Josh. Let's stick with it. So again, this is what we call a bell-shaped mesocyclone. We'll show you radar. We'll show you exactly where this is again, coming up here momentarily. But if you take a look at this here, you can actually see the structure, both sides. See how it looks like a bell coming down? So that's what you call the bell-shaped mesocyclone. As Joe gets closer, you'll actually be able to see the striations within this, the area of spin within this, and then right back here on what would be Joe's left, Joe's camera left, this would be the wall cloud, and if there's any area of concern, meaning tornadic activity, it's going to be right back down in here. And so again, you can see a perfect shot there from Joe. Again, he's just in a rural area. The video is going to kick in and out, so we're just going to try and stick with it. If we need to go back to radar in between, we can, Joe. Okay, let's just, there it is. So okay, and there's a new tornado warning coming out on this as well. Hey, Joe, let's stick with your shot. It's perfect. Let's see. What's the tornado warning until?
It's until.
So they're just now issuing this tornado warning on this as well. So again, very dynamic video coming in from Joe.
Until 4:45.
Okay, and so this is going to be a new, let's see, tornado warning, and this is going to be for Haskell County, and this is until 4:45. So brand new tornado warning for Haskell County until 4:45. Okay, so that's okay. This is technically outside of our general coverage area, and so we were just talking about on the mobile app, but we're going to continue to watch this. Joe, if you've got a funnel, so Joe's our eyes in the field. Hey, let's go back to radar just real quick. Josh, we're going to pop right back to this, but I want to go to radar to show folks where this is. So let's go and zoom this out. Joe, stand by because I think you may have a little funnel cloud activity there, so hold on for 1 second, Joe. I want to get right back to him. But let's zoom this out if we can. Let's just zoom it out all the way if we can. Let's just take it all the way. Just clear it on out if you can, Josh. Okay, so Dallas-Fort Worth back over in here. I know we get a lot of folks from DFW obviously watching us. Metroplex over here. Okay, so weather's quiet right now. Could be some thunderstorm activity later this evening. We're tracking. We're talking about our far northwestern counties here. Tornado watch in green, and we've now got a brand new tornado warning for Haskell County until 4:45. Let's zoom back in on it, and then let's go back to Joe's video. And so here's the tornado warning. Let's go and zoom in on it. So again, okay, and so we'll just kind of go back and forth with Joe's video. Joe, you may check your video, especially if you have anything going on there, and we'll try and kick it back in. Okay, there's Joe's video. And so again, brand new tornado warning. This is a live shot of it. And Joe, if you're still on the live line, I want to just kind of keep bouncing with you. So again, bell-shaped mesocyclone, very evident. We've got striations. This is the area of spin here. And again, this is the wall cloud right back in here. To me, it looks a little raggedy, Joe. It still looks a little raggedy from here. It doesn't look ultra tight. It doesn't look real crisp. But if there is any type of tornadic activity, it's going to be right back in here. That's the wall cloud. It's going to be right back in there. Again, you got to forgive the video. We're going to go back and forth as it kicks back in. He's in a really rural area. It's farmland. You see it there. Okay, so Joe, give us an update from your location. What are you seeing out there?
Like I said, on the east side of Haskell, it is kind of ragged. It's not real crisp and clean, but there is some rolling motion with the clouds. A short time ago, I thought I saw a little bit of funnel back in the rain a little bit. A little hard to tell because it's pretty gray and hazy back in there.
Don't refresh it now. Let it play.
But as far as my video, we got a pretty good cell phone signal right now, but there's a lot of chasers out here right now, and I think a lot of that has to do with how many cell phone towers are in the area. Outside of that, nothing on the ground yet. But it is pushing toward Haskell, and we're going to kind of sit here for a minute. We may have to move here shortly. So back to you, William.
Okay, Joe, great job, and great report there. We're just looking at some new data coming in here as well. So we're just kind of sticking with your video. And again, this is, what you have to do. And again, it's the same thing if you're a storm tracker out in the field. What Joe's doing is the same thing we're doing. We're looking at radar. We're watching what Joe is showing us here. We're watching the sky. We're watching this mesocyclone to see what happens. And again, there's a lot of times you may end up with a mesocyclone that doesn't go on to produce a tornado. Now, this storm here specifically And Josh, okay, there we go. This storm here specifically produced a probable tornado about 20 minutes ago. So what it's doing, it's cycling back up. And as it cycles back up, it may come up to the brink of trying to produce tornadic activity, and it may not happen. It might cycle down, but then in another 10 minutes, it'll cycle back up. So these are called cyclic supercells. We're going to go back and forth, and do this over and over again with this storm until it finally diminishes later on this evening. But the way it looks right now, this may be the storm of the evening. So again, tornado warning continues here for Haskell County. Again, this is on the fringes of our northwestern coverage area. We technically don't cover Haskell County. Obviously, we're covering it because it's going to be potentially, if it holds together, coming in there to Throckmorton County. Hey, Chantel, I know you're on the line with us as well. Let's just keep bouncing with Joe's video as it's coming in. Chantel, if you can, check your video for us. And if you're on the live line, give us an update.
I am still sitting in the same spot on County Road 424, watching the wall cloud. It's going to move probably directly in front of us in probably about 5-10 minutes. There is a significant lowering out to my right, and I'm watching it. Hopefully it's going to tighten up and maybe possibly produce a tornado.
Okay, Chantel, appreciate that. We're still just kind of watching the video. Hey, Joe, are you still on the line? Go and give us an update, Joe. We're just looking at some new data here. Joe, if you're still on the line, go ahead and give us an update as well.
Yeah, we're still here, and I think I see what Chantel's seeing. It's kind of a rough-looking funnel just to my west, kind of up here in front of us. Should be on the right side of the camera if you can see it. I don't see a lot of rotation in it just yet, but there is a lot of movement in the clouds. At this point, we're going to probably back up and turn around, and it's kind of starting to kind of overrun us a little bit now. So we're going to kind of bounce back to the east a little bit, and then get back with you. Back to you, William.
Okay, Joe, really appreciate it. I think, yeah, let's go. There's Chantel's video. Let's pop that up. Chantel, we've got your video. And so, again, we're just seeing a different angle from what Joe had. So this is a lot of scud. This looks real So And so do we have a rain curtain, Chantel, if you're on the live line? It looks like we've just got a rain curtain back there off to your camera left, off to your left. So these little fingers hanging down. This is all just scud that we're looking at here. But give us an update. We got your video coming in.
Yes, there is a rain curtain off to our right. Let me move the camera so y'all can get a better view of that. Yes, seems like the funnel that we were seeing possibly that was tightening up is now diminishing. But we're still keeping a close eye on this. The storm is definitely rotating, and there's a lot of upper level motion right now. If this is the time the storm was going to produce another tornado, it's going to be right now. And it's going to move directly in front of us. Back to you, William.
Okay, great job, Chantel. Just keep kind of holding it steady. We're just going to kind of stick with your video and, again, just kind of see what you're seeing, again, out there. And, again, we're just kind of taking it, minute by minute, second by second. We're also punching Joe's video back up here as well. And again, we're just going to kind of continue to watch both of these and again, see what we see. So it looks like, again, to me, Chantel, from right now, from your vantage point, it's just looking more and more raggedy. I mean, would you agree with that, again, compared to maybe where it was just a few minutes ago? Hey, also, Joe, if you're on the live line, I hate to go back and forth, but if you can, check your video. And as soon as your video's back up, we want to take yours here as well. But again, Chantel, so we're looking at yours, and I know her camera, it's a little wobbly. She's holding it just so we can get a good vantage point of it. But again, you can see even the dynamic inflow coming in here as well.
Yes.
And okay, so and there's the tail cloud there on the back. So again, Chantel, just kind of keep I mean, again, folks, you're not seeing this anywhere else. You're not seeing this anywhere else. So Chantel, give us another update from your vantage point there.
Yes, it seems to be more ragged than what it was just a few minutes ago. Hoping it's going to start tightening back up and produce something again. This would be a perfect opportunity to see a tornado because this area is very rural. There's nobody out here.
Careful. I think what you're doing,
back to you, William.
You're screwing them. You can't click those. Okay. Good job, Chantel. Appreciate that update. Let's go back to Joe's video here as well, and then we'll take a look at radar coming up here momentarily. And so again, we're just kind of bouncing back with the different feeds here. And so let's do this. Let's go back to radar, and I'm sorry, Josh. I'm kind of jumping in here on one of our guys. I want to get Joe's shot punched back up, and I think is this Joe right here?
Yeah.
Okay, so Joe, now we're looking at your shot, and so we kind of had to get the video stabilized there because we were going back and forth with the different shots. And so Joe, you're essentially looking at the exact same thing Chantel's looking at. to me, this looks quite a bit more raggedy. And again, thanks for you're pointing the camera up. Really appreciate that. These are the scud clouds, the little finger clouds you see. So this is kind of showing the area of spin. So if you watch this carefully here, you'll actually see the area of spin. But again, just from the layman's eye here, looking at this on video, it just doesn't look as impressive as it maybe did from the video we saw of yours maybe 5 minutes ago. Joe, what do you think? Give us another update from your vantage point.
So yeah, it's definitely got some rotation in it from what we're seeing here. I mean, it is pretty ragged, but what I'm seeing a lot of rotation just above me. We're probably a little closer than we need to be right this minute, but I wanted to turn around, kind of get a shot of that before I went further east. But it is rotating, but it's still way off the ground. Nowhere, I don't see any funnels or anything coming out of that. Just keep an eye on things. We're gonna go ahead and move a little more to the east. So back to you, William.
Okay, Joe, appreciate that update. Let's go back to radar here. And again, we're just taking this second by second. We don't obviously have a lot of new stuff to kind of pass along. We're watching this tornado warning out here. This is in Haskell County until 4:45. You're watching it live here on Texas Weather Tracker TV. William Cole here in the Forecast Center in Dallas, around the Love Field area, the West Love Field area. And again, we've got our storm trackers up here in the northwestern portions of North Texas. And again, this is technically one county out of the general area that we cover. Throckmorton County would begin our general coverage area. But again, you can see the cone of danger. The path here is coming directly towards Throckmorton. This is a supercell. And again, this has had a history of producing at least one unconfirmed tornado. We've got 3 storm trackers on it. We've got video coming in. And again, we're going to show you as we go through the afternoon and the evening, step by step, what goes on here. So let's go and do this. I want to zoom out real quick. We're going to get right back to the video, but I just want to take a look at radar and see what we have going on. I want to zoom out. Again, just show again the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex being right back over here. And so again, quiet evening, at least quiet late afternoon. We've had some rain, a little bit of general thunder here in the Metroplex. Really nothing severe here. There'll be another opportunity of rain and storms as we get deeper into the evening. Again, everything we're covering is out here in this area of green. The area of green, this is a tornado watch that's in effect until 10 p.m. this evening. We've had one lone supercell that has really so far been the show of the day. And again, it's been quite severe with large hail, up to 2-inch size hail, and it's had a history of producing one unconfirmed tornado. And again, that is now tracking over here towards Throckmorton County into our general coverage area. Tornado warning here until 4:45. That's for Haskell County. So let's go and zoom back in. And real quick before we get back to the storm trackers, because in this situation, I mean, looking at radar can tell you where it is and what's going on, but we need to keep pulling in the video, because if anything changes out there in the field, if there's a funnel cloud, if there's more, we'll see that in real time. And that's why we want to keep checking in and keep going to the storm tracker video. It's really that important in a situation like this. We can see we have a mesocyclone on radar, but we need to see what that mesocyclone is doing. With that being said, let's go and quickly take a look at the spin rate here. And as we do that, again, still, it's just wimpier than where it was. And that's not to take away from the tornado warning. This is still an imminent tornado threat. If you live in the town of Haskell there, 380, this is pretty rural, eastern Haskell County, 380 here. Again, tornado warning continues until 4:45. But let's zoom in on this just a little bit closer, Josh, if we can. So this is the spin rate. This is what we call the mesocyclone spin rate. You only see this here on Texas Weather Tracker TV. This is an exclusive product that we have, and it basically takes all the data from the radar, puts it together, and it tells us where the best area of spin or where the best tornado probability would be. The smattering of green is a very weak signature. As you start to get a brighter green or a yellow, that's when there's a more likely opportunity of tornadic activity. So this is a fairly weak presentation, by the way. Also, by the way, our storm trackers, live GPS, always plotted on radar. So Joe right there, the red dot, Chantel, the red dot, and again, the video that we're going to be looking at, there they are along the 380, and again, they're going to be looking up to the north. So again, in real time, we can show you exactly where they are and exactly where the area of concern there is as well. So let's go back to their video, and we can take either one. It doesn't really matter, whoever wants to go first. And again, so this is the way we do it here on Texas Weather Tracker TV. Not only do we cover severe weather, but we always have Texas's #1 storm tracking team out in the field. And again, this is just kind of what we're demonstrating today. We have people circling these storms, surrounding these storms with live video. So again, if there's anything concerning, meaning large hail, tornado, anything like that, we're going to have it second by second as it happens, live, telling you about it, letting you see it. Not just telling you, hey, this is something on radar you need to be concerned about. We're showing it to you live as it happens, and that's our commitment all across North Texas. 3 trackers on this storm circling it again late this afternoon. So who do we have up here first? Is this Joe on the live line? Joe, go ahead and again, wow, so here's the bell. So we're starting to get a good look at that. Almost looks like a saucer ship there. Look at that bell-shaped mesocyclone. See the bell? See the curvature? See how the ends come out? This is a bell-shaped mesocyclone. This may be ramping up from where it was, Joe, a few minutes ago. So
Okay,
Joe,
yeah, so we're actually on the east side of town right now. I'm facing north again, looking back into that little area rotation. There is some upward movement being pulled up, you know, the little scud cloud being pulled up. We're pretty much right underneath the wall cloud, but it is still a little raggedy. But there is a lot of movement up there with the clouds and everything getting pulled up in there. Nothing really new, nothing on the ground. No funnels or anything that I can see at this point. Back to you, William.
okay, Joe, good job, good job. And again, we're just looking at your video. It's quite dynamic there. We're going to check in with Chantel as well. And again, you saw the red dots. So there's some scud. We see a lot of scud coming up into this. Again, you see the kind of fingertips coming down. That's also scud. And again, we're looking right into it. I mean, if anything happens here, I mean, second by second, if anything happens here, we're going to have it live. What you're seeing here, this is not necessarily a funnel cloud at all. This is just scud wrapping up into the storm. There's a lot of vertical motion going on here. There's a lot of motion going on with these. And so even though you may see that, it looks a little concerning just to the layman eye. That right there is not necessarily a funnel cloud. That's just some scud that's coming into it. You can see Joe kind of getting on a dirt road. You see the camera bouncing around just a little bit. And let's see, let's go to Chantel's video too. And I know she's right there. I mean, we've got this thing surrounded, 2 trackers right there on it. We've got Bo out there as well. And we're going to be talking with him. So Chantel, let's go to Chantel's video. And so I think that's Joe's. So if we can, and Chantel, if you're on the live line, tell us where you are now and to go ahead and give us an update.
We drove back into Haskell. We're going to head east of this and kind of get behind it and hopefully have a better vantage point without having to worry about the storm running over us.
Keep going.
And hopefully everything is going to be okay. It looks like it's just going to slide just north of Haskell. So it looks like the town itself is going to be okay. We're just going to continue down this road and hopefully see some more action. I have to agree with Joe. There is more rising motion into the storm than what there was. Back to you, William.
Yeah, it appears as though it's trying to ramp back up. Let's go to radar just real quick, and we're going to switch back over to radar, and we're going to get right back to the video. You know, so even from the radar presentation, this is turning into a classic supercell. And again, this is almost that Screaming Eagle presentation. The thing with this storm, the only thing that's maybe a little concerning right now, and again, we hate to use the word concerning. We don't necessarily want to alarm anybody, but there is a tornado warning in effect. So that's already a little alarming when you have a tornado warning, right? And so anyway, this storm has a clean fetch of air coming into it. See that little notch right there? That's what you call the inflow notch. This is warm air coming into the storm. It's wrapping back around. We've got large hail, and again, we've got that hook coming around there as well. Let's go back to the video. And again, we just want to keep bouncing with our trackers here because this is really telling the story. I can show you radar all day, but this is what's going to tell us if we have a tornado on the ground and if and when we have a tornado on the ground. We can have a mesocyclone, we can have a hook and never have a tornado, or we can have a tornado on the ground and not even necessarily know it looking at radar. So this is why it's so important, again, to have the trackers out there. And again, Joe's out there, just a great position. And Joe, I know you're about to center your shot back up there. Chantel, I know you're getting your video punched back up. But Joe, give us another update. I know you're on a pretty rural road there. We see your camera bouncing around. But again, it's really that important. You're the eyes out there in the field. We're taking this storm second by second. On radar, it appears, Joe, as there's an uptick on the area of spin. There's a bit of an uptick here on the area of spin. We're going to get that shot centered back up and we want to see it. But go ahead, Joe, give us another update.
So yeah, we're moving east out of Haskell, just kind of following along with it. Looks like it's going to track right down 380 toward the Throckmorton area. Not seeing anything as far as funnel clouds. There's still some rising motion into the storm, and really we're on the dry side of things, so we're not even really getting any rain or any strong winds or anything where we're at. Back to you, William.
Okay, Joe, great job. And so again, this is what we're going to do. We're just going to keep bouncing around with our storm trackers here. And again, they're doing a phenomenal job out there. So again, if there's any changes here, again, split-second changes, funnel cloud activity, tornadic activity, again, we're going to have it. But again, tornado warning continues here. This is Haskell County until 4:45 this afternoon. Now, keep in mind, Haskell County is actually one county outside of what we normally cover. The only reason we're highlighting this is because this, in general, is going to be moving into Throckmorton County if it does hold together. And again, for our friends there in Throckmorton, we'll be tracking this carefully. But again, we've got this surrounded by 3 different storm trackers. You're not seeing this anywhere else in Texas. You're not seeing this anywhere else in the Metroplex or even the Wichita Falls market for that matter. But again, we've got 3 storm trackers on this live video coming in from everybody. And again, we're going to continue to kind of bounce around and juggle with this. Let's quickly go back to radar. I hate to cut away from the video, but let's quickly go back to radar. And here we go. We'll do the time of arrival. Good call there, Josh. And so it looks like 4:51 Throckmorton, again, if that holds together. So again, we're talking about, 30-ish minutes if this does hold together. It looks like it's going to come right down 380. There's Throckmorton County. Officially, this is where our coverage area begins. But again, you can see the cone of danger right there coming right down towards Throckmorton. So again, this is what we call a cyclic supercell. Again, these things will cycle up, they'll cycle down. There's already been at least one unconfirmed report of a tornado. This was about 30 minutes ago. Since then, though, this thing has continued to anchor and turn more to the east. This was moving northeasterly. It's anchored now, and it's turned due east, coming right down 380, and again, coming right on into our general coverage area. Outside of the tornado threat, the other thing this storm has had, the supercell has had, 2-inch plus size hail. We're getting some very large damaging hail with this storm as well. Let's quickly look at the hail core tracker. We may go to the other radar. Let's look at the spin rate hail core tracker, and then I want to get right back to the video. And we can just switch over to Mesoscan XR if you want to, Josh. And so this is the opportunity of severe hail here. Let's go to the other one, and let's just look at the hail core tracker. And so there it is. And wow, take a look at that. So red, pink, white, gray, and there's no additional colors. This is a big hail core. It's sitting right there along the 277, just north of Haskell at the 380 junction. That's where the hail core is. It's just north of Haskell. By the way, the 2 red dots you're seeing, Chantel, Joe, that's where our storm trackers are. That's their live GPS right there. Okay, let's go to the spin rate real quick, then we'll get back to the video. Now the deal with the spin rate, it continues to just look wimpier and wimpier. The area of spin is actually sitting right over 277. You can see Joe and Chantel, they're down here at the junction. They're right there in Haskell, eastern sides of Haskell at the junction. They're looking off to the north. There's the area of spin. It's just looking quite a bit wimpier than where it was. So let's go back to the video. And let's see who we have. I don't know if we have Chantel or if we have Joe or whoever we have. So we've got Joe's video, it looks like, coming in. And again, we hate to keep bouncing. I know these guys, they don't have a lot of stuff to pass along. But in situations like this where we have a tornado warning, things can happen second by second. And that's why we want to keep jumping back in and seeing what they're seeing out there, Joe. So I know you're on the live line here with us still. Go and give us another report on this there around the Haskell area.
Okay, yeah, so we're east of Haskell a little ways, a few miles. We just placed a camera to the north that should be coming into view for you guys here pretty quick. Still a lot of upward motion into the storm, but there's no real distinct clean crisp wall cloud hanging down. A lot of just raggedy scud floating around and spinning around up in there. As far as the hail, we're far enough out of the hail, so we're not really worried about that too much. So I can't really give any hail reports at that point. But other than that, we're just kind of hanging out. We're kind of watching things. We'll track it along and see what it does. Back to you, Wayne.
Okay, great job, Joe. And we're also going to go to Chantel real quick before we go to Chantel. So this is just kind of the beaver tail on the back end coming in. This just doesn't, Joe, I'll be honest, what we're seeing on radar and also, what you're seeing with the live video, it's just not looking as impressive as it was. Again, you can see whenever Joe says scud or we say scud, it's just kind of this low-hanging kind of cloud around the area of spin. And it's just kind of some condensate coming up. So this is the scud that he's talking about. We're not necessarily even seeing the scud fingers anymore. But again, that's the inflow there on the back end coming in there. So let's, real quick, Chantel's there on it as well. And again, Joe's got a great shot. Phenomenal job here. If anything changes on Joe's shot, we're going to get right back to it. Chantel, you're on the live line, and I believe we have her video. Possibly. If we have Chantel's video, we'll pop it up. But I know you're on the live line. Tell us where you are now, Chantel. Give us an update.
Looking right straight into there.
Chantel, are you still on the live line?
Right there.
Okay, we may have lost Chantel just momentarily, or did we just now get her back? Okay, that's okay. We're just in a really rural area, so we're just going to keep kind of bouncing back and forth again with the trackers as anything kind of changes. So let's do this. We'll go back. Let's go back to radar real quick. We'll go back to radar. We'll just kind of do an overview, and we'll switch over to the other radar, Josh, and we'll just do an overview and kind of let everyone know with what's going on. Or we can leave it here. This is fine, Josh. This right here is fine too. So I just kind of want to show again where the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex is. If you're just joining us now on Texas Weather Tracker TV, William Cole here in the Texas Weather Tracker TV Forecast Center. Of course, if you're watching us here in North Texas or from around the rest of the world, again, welcome into our severe weather coverage as we go through the late afternoon and into the evening. Again, our broadcast originates from Dallas, down here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. But again, our general coverage area across North Texas goes out to the west. And as it turns out, late this afternoon, heading into the evening, we do have a tornado watch in effect. The county's in green until 10 p.m. We've got one lone supercell that has been of concern as we've gone through the late afternoon, heading into the evening. And in fact, we continue with the tornado warning for Haskell County until 4:45. As we zoom in, we'll take a closer look at this storm here. And as we zoom in again with that tornado warning continuing until 4:45, you can see the blinking red box. Haskell County technically is not in our general coverage area. The reason we're highlighting this is the fact it's going to be moving into Throckmorton County, and that is an area that we cover. This is Highway 380 you're seeing here. And so again, it appears as though this storm has now turned due east, which sometimes is typical with supercells. They'll anchor and turn due east. That's what's happening here. And in fact, it's coming right down the 380 towards Throckmorton. And so again, if the storm holds together for our friends in Throckmorton, that can be concerning. Again, they're not currently in a warning, and we're going to be tracking this carefully. Again, if the storm does continue tracking in that general location. And again, Throckmorton 4:59 would be the time of arrival. Throckmorton 4:59, time of arrival. Black box, we call that the cone of danger there. Again, storm sliding. You see it due east right down Highway 380. Here's what I want to do. Let's switch over to the other radar. I want to look at the spin rate of this storm. This is something here on Texas Weather Tracker TV we call the mesocyclone spin rate. Now, I can tell you right now, just by looking at radar, this storm does not look as impressive. And this is my personal opinion right now, this storm is beginning to weaken. Now, we have what's called cyclic supercells. This is a cyclic supercell, meaning what they'll do is they will ramp up to near tornado potential or sometimes producing tornadic activity. They'll cycle down, then they'll ramp back up. And throughout their life cycle, they'll do that over and over and over again. This one, the structure of the storm itself, even really is showing a strong weakening trend at this time. Even the hail core nowhere near pronounced. This storm may be dramatically weakening. We'll have to continue to watch that. Let's look at the spin rate real quick here. And what this is the mesocyclone spin rate. And as we take a look inside the storm, and again, if we have it or we don't, we may hit the wrong button there. So as we're looking at the spin rate within the storm, and again, keep in mind this is something you only see here on Texas Weather Tracker TV. This is something the computer puts together and lets us know where the best area of spin is. But right now, we're really not picking up on much out of that at all. And so again, it appears from here the storm is weakening on radar. Now what we need to do, we need to talk to our storm trackers in the field. We've got 3 storm trackers out there on this storm. We've got Joe, Bob, and Chantel, all of them streaming in live video. So we're analyzing it on radar, but the most important piece of this as we're dealing with supercells and tornado potential, what's happening live in the field. So let's go into some video here. And I believe this is Joe, and he's still there in the Haskell area. Joe, on radar, this storm really looks like it's got a strong weakening trend. What are you seeing out there in the field? Give us a report.
Definitely not as just looking at it eyeballing. It's not as healthy and strong as it was initially when we first got here. It looks, there's still some lowering and some upward motion into it, but just looking at it from our point of view, it looks like the cloud base is actually a little elevated at this point. So anyway, outside of that, we're still working our way to the east a little bit, trying to get back out in front of it, kind of stay ahead of this thing, but don't get past us. But outside of that, that's really all we got to report at this time. Thank you.
Okay, Joe, really appreciate that update. Great job there. Hey, do we have Chantel? Let's go to her video. I think she's got some dynamic video coming in. Chantel, so here's a different shot. So there's Joe's shot, there's Chantel's shot. Again, you're not seeing this anywhere else in Texas. Like I mentioned, 3 storm trackers. We've got this storm here completely surrounded, video coming in from every single angle. So again, if anything were to change here, talking about tornadic activity, instantly you would see it live here on Texas Weather Tracker TV. And Chantel, you may have to back your shot out here just a little bit, but we're looking right up into it. There's the mezzo and the wall cloud. It's if it looks like it's still over there on the left-hand side of your screen, it's looking pretty raggedy. Chantel, if you're still on the live line, tell us where you are now and give us an update here from your location. Okay, and we may have just lost Chantel momentarily, but she's right there looking at it. And again, you have to remember they're out there in really rural areas, so they're doing the best they can to keep their video coming in and also to stay on the live line as well. But again, both of these, again, Joe, the video you were looking at, Chantel, again, doing a phenomenal job right there. Chantel, I may have heard you just pop back onto the live line. Are you there with us? Okay, and we'll just keep checking for Chantel. Do we have Bob on the live line by any chance? I know we've had Bob kind of off and on here. Bob, are you on the live line? Okay, so we're just going to keep bouncing around. That's no big deal. We've got the video coming in from the trackers, and we're just going to continue to kind of look at that. I want to go. Let's just real quick. Let's go back to radar. And I know sometimes it kind of seems like we're all over the place. We're going to video, we're going to radar, we're going back and forth with all this. But again, we're just analyzing the storm. And at this point in time, there's just no new information, obviously, to pass along. So let's do this. Let's go to the other radar, Josh, and let's do a 3D on that, if you don't mind. And you got to watch which one you hit because I think you had click one. Okay, so let's go to the and we may have a new warning there as well. Let's see what that is. And so we'll go back to the live video, and we're going to get back to the 3D. What was the warning? Do we have it?
Severe thunderstorm warning for Throckmorton.
Okay, so Throckmorton. What was it until?
Until 5:30.
Okay, so 5:30. So now it's coming into our general coverage area. So Throckmorton County, the Weather Service did not issue a new tornado warning on this storm, but they've now issued a severe thunderstorm warning on this storm. There's Chantel's shot. That's really good right there, looking right into it. There's the striations I was talking about. See how it almost looks like pancakes stacked up? That's striations. That's the general spin of this storm. Chantel, is that you back on the live line?
Yeah, on the backside. There you go.
Hey,
We got one on the ground.
Chantel's got a tornado on the ground. Okay, Chantel, you're live on the. Go ahead.
I just now.
We are on the highway looking
What?
east, and there is a confirmed tornado on the ground. It's one of those ones you can't actually see the funnel, but you can definitely see the debris cloud on the ground.
Okay.
It looks
If
like
you
it's
can, try and center up your shot just a little bit. So we've got a debris signature on the ground, and so the condensate, the funnels, they don't always connect when that happens. And Chantel, we're looking at your video. Your video is probably about 15 seconds delayed, but tell us again exactly where you are.
I am on the highway heading. Let's see, which way am I heading? I'm heading east, and it looks. I don't see a debris cloud anymore. There was a brief spin up on the ground, but I'm not seeing it now. We're moving forward a little bit, hopefully getting over this ridge. We're currently on 380. Back to you, William.
Okay, no, we're just going to stick with your video right there. And again, sometimes that's what will happen, is you'll just have a brief spin up. Now, the one thing you also have to watch in these situations as well, sometimes when there's a bit of a weakening trend with the storm, sometimes you'll get the rear flank downdraft coming down as well. And so it'll kind of be a rush of cooler air coming out of it. And sometimes that can blow up a little bit of dust as well. So, you know, we got to watch that too. So it could have been a little bit of RFD action there. Chantel, tell us again exactly where you are.
I'm on 380 heading east.
Okay, so you're east out of Haskell, is that correct? So in other words, you're kind of tracking in the general direction of Throckmorton, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay,
We're
correct.
about to stop up here on the side of the road. There's an opening field, hoping we can see it a little bit better.
Okay, and you're doing a great job.
I don't see any more debris on the ground.
Okay, you're doing a great job. So this is it right back in here. Joe, if you're on the line, where are you at now? Joe, are you still on the live line?
Yeah, we're still here. So I'm in the same area as Chantel, and I did see the the dust kick up off the surface and rotate up. But like she said, you couldn't see a funnel. But it was definitely under the area of rotation.
Okay.
And it kicked up for a while, and then it was very brief. So.
Okay. Do you think, Joe? Do you think it was maybe the RFD at all cutting back around, or you think you actually had a little quick spin up? Because a quick spin up definitely isn't impossible with this one either. What do you think it was? Again, I know you're having to make a kind of a critical guess there, but just in your expert opinion, what do you think you had there?
I mean, I think it was definitely possibly a small, brief spin up.
Okay.
It was real quick and it was gone.
Okay.
And, you know, you could see the debris, the dust circulating, and then moving in an upward motion. So.
Right. Okay. And that'll happen with these. Again, you can have a quick spin up with as well. Again, this has been a long-lived mesocyclone that again has lingered now for well over an hour. And in fact, there's been at least one unconfirmed tornado. And again, that was about 45 minutes ago with this as well. Let's go back if we can, Josh. Let's go to Joe's video real quickly. And the curvature is beginning to come back in this storm. The curvature is beginning to come back in this storm. Chantel, are you still on the live line with us?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, give us another update from your location.
I'm still heading east on 380, about to pull over and take a better advantage. I'm not seeing any dust kicking up anymore or any more upper motion from that dust. But this storm is definitely tightening up more. Back to you, William.
Okay, Chantel, we just want to kind of wobble back and forth with the video. Let's do this. Let's go back to radar just real quick. We want to cut away from the shot just real quick here, and I want to come back to radar. Let's go to the spin rate, and we switch back down to a different radar. And so my name's obviously William Cole. I'm not Copeland Wright. That's our weekend guy. So I'm not. We'll get that fixed coming up. So 380 right down here. There's Joe. Again, there's Chantel. So again, if you're wondering exactly where they are, again, this is Haskell County, Chantel, Joe, and again, our general coverage area is starting over here, Throckmorton. It's going to be right back over in here. So again, they're looking up to the north, and that's the area of spin. Again, still looking pretty wimpy there. Let's go to the velocities. And so this is just the raw data, but the velocities are still looking fairly impressive. The velocity signature here is still looking fairly impressive with this. So again, the area of spin, even though there was at least some indications maybe 5 minutes ago that there was a bit of a weakening trend with this, that's definitely not the case at this point in time. Again, as we talk about cyclic supercells, this one appears to be trying to ramp back up, and it may be happening right in front of us. And again, that may also be why we had that quick brief spin up as well. Hey, let's go to our reflectivity, and then we'll zoom this out completely. I just want to give an overview, and then we're going to get right back to the video. And so again, I just want to center this up, again, showing the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex right back over in here, Tarrant County, Dallas County. Again, everything quiet right now for those of you joining us from there. Again, this active weather we're talking about are in these green counties. The tornado watch here are far western counties that is in effect until 10 p.m. this evening. And again, tornado warning rather continues for Haskell County in the red, and we'll zoom back in, and we're dealing with what's called kind of a long-lived now supercell, and this is also what we call a cyclic supercell. Cyclic supercell, meaning it's a cell that ramps up and ramps down. You'll probably hear me say that over and over, but again, for the folks that are just now joining us, we want to explain what's going on. Sometimes folks think that, well, if a storm, really intensifies, it may continue to produce a tornado for a long period of time. 9 times out of 10, that's not the case with any type of tornadic activity. You'll get a supercell that may ramp up to near tornado potential and never goes on to produce any type of tornadic activity. Then it ramps down, and it will do that several times over and over. And out of its life cycle, as it does it over and over, there's a few times where it may potentially try and produce tornadic activity. We've had one unconfirmed tornado with this storm, and now we've also had the quick brief spin up that, again, both of our storm trackers, Joe and Chantel, both again, we're seeing in the field again from 380 looking up into that storm. So let's go back to their video. And again, this is the most important part. So we're talking to you about what we're seeing here on radar. The trend is now up. The trend is up now on radar. But let's go back to their video. And as we're looking at their video, this is what we really have to do is verify in the field and talk to our trackers and again see exactly what's going on out there. And they may both be down. They're just getting in a rural area. So going from Haskell over here to Throckmorton, again right there along the 380, there's not, this is all farmland. There's really nothing there. And so again, you're seeing, again, their live GPS locations there, again, basically trying to rocket now over towards Throckmorton. And so again, there's going to be a few bumps in the cell phone coverage out there. Are either one of them on the live line with us, or did we lose both of them as well?
I'm still on the live line, but I may lose.
Okay, Joe's there. I don't know if we have his audio up, but Joe is there. And so, Joe, I know you're trying to do what you can with your video. It may be a little intermittent where you are, but if you're still on the line, tell us where you are now, and go ahead and give us another update.
So we continue moving east out of Haskell towards Throckmorton. Just trying to get out ahead of the storm so we can kind of see a little further out and kind of get a better view of it. We were pretty close earlier. outside of that, right now, it's kind of hard to turn around and look and see what we're looking at, but still got, a lowering somewhat. It's still, a little ragged, not, real clean and crisp like you had mentioned earlier. We're just trying to find a place to kind of peel off and turn around now and get the video back on it. So back to you, William.
Okay, appreciate that update there, Joe. So we're just bouncing between the storm tracker feeds, and again, you're going to see them kind of doing that little spin thing there, again, as we, again, kind of lose our signal in and out. Chantel, are you still on the line with us? We may have lost Chantel's audio as well. So again, there's Haskell. This is the 380, and again, the red dots, this is exactly where the trackers are. Again, so again, you're seeing Chantel and also you're seeing Joe right there. Again, those are their live GPS locations. And again, we're going to continue to basically bounce in and again, track with them, again, as this continues to slide over towards Throckmorton. Now, officially, it's only a severe thunderstorm warning now. The tornado warning has been allowed to expire. So we continue with this new severe thunderstorm warning, which does include Throckmorton County. And so again, we're going to continue to track this, but at least right now, the imminent tornado threat, it's easing down, it's ticking down some, again, because we no longer currently have that tornado warning in effect there. Do we get Chantel back on the line? We may have lost her. Okay, and that's fine. This is what we're going to do. Since there's no longer a tornado warning in effect, since we only have a severe thunderstorm warning here, again, the storm is still concerning. You can see the hook. This is a supercell, big hail core here. What we're going to do, we're going to take just a couple-minute break, give our storm trackers a little more time to get east and get in better, at least position again to kind of get their signal back up, and we're going to check back in with them. We'll continue to have live severe weather coverage here, again, as we go through the evening and into late afternoon into the evening right here on Texas Weather Tracker TV. Otherwise, keep it here with Texas Weather Tracker TV. We'll keep you up to date with the latest live weather information for North Texas 24/7.
Stay with Texas Weather Tracker TV throughout the day for continuing coverage. Online, on the app, and on TV.